Starts right now.
Right now in the news at 5:30, traffic-related calls to police are skyrocketing in San Antonio. What one local driver's ed school wants to do to change the way we drive. And there are a group of women who are connected over their passion for the accordion. Why these mujeres decided to pick up the squeeze box. The news at 5:30 starts right now. Welcome to the news at 5:30. I'm John Paul Barajas. We start with a problem that we all know and complain about, and that's traffic. Whether it's ongoing construction slowing us down or crashes shutting down major roadways, the state of traffic and driving in San Antonio can be more than just annoying. It can also be dangerous. Just this morning, 2 people were seriously hurt, including a child. This after a crash on the west side. It happened around 2 this morning on Highway 90 near Hunt Lane. San Antonio police say the driver, who they say suspect was intoxicated, lost control when exiting the highway and crashed head-on into a concrete pillar. The driver and a juvenile in the front seat were both seriously injured and rushed to the hospital. No word on their condition this afternoon. In just the last 7 days, San Antonio police have received more than 6,000 traffic-related calls. Tonight on the Night Beat, we're talking to a driver's education instructor about why driving classes are so important for people of all ages to keep roads safe. And SAPD working a lot more than traffic crashes. This morning on the southwest side, a man was detained after ramming his car into a building just moments after he told others to call 911 for himself. According to San Antonio police, the man was parked outside of the Culebra Meat Market number 3 off of Old Pearsall Road and Five Palms Drive. At some point, he told employees to call 911, saying he was having a medical episode. He then got into his car and drove through the building's front door, and after that, got into a fight with people inside. SAPD says the man was taken to the hospital for treatment, adding at this time there are no charges that have been filed. Luckily, there was no major injuries, but the building does have extensive damage. An attempted theft turned into a suspect being rushed to the hospital. All of this taking place at Pal Vape on the northwest side around 11 last night. San Antonio police say an employee was allegedly being robbed by an armed man in a mask. That's when the employee pulled out his own gun and shot the robber several times. The would-be robber was then taken to the hospital with life-threatening injuries. An investigation is ongoing. And continuing coverage, a Holy Cross of San Antonio employee was fired after an alleged report came out about their misconduct. According to a letter sent out to parents, the Holy Cross principal says no students or faculty members are currently at risk. We currently do not know any details about that misconduct. Legal counsel for Holy Cross told us, quote, "We cannot comment beyond what we state in the letter, and that the rumors and other misinformation being generated are completely wrong. Principal Dr. Escobedo is following established procedures, and he is not the subject of the ongoing investigation in any way," end quote. We do know San Antonio police are involved in the investigation. As we learn more, we'll get that to you. The Church of Jesus Christ Latter-day Saints are in day 2 of their National General Conference. I spoke to local leaders about how they're leaning on their faith after last weekend's heartbreak, the attack at a Mormon church in Michigan, and the passing of their head prophet at 101 years old. What they told me tonight on the Night Beat. Happening now, the Viva Mexico Women's Festival is taking place over on the south side of town, filled with artists and musicians who are providing uplifting Mexican culture. Our Devin Karp got to listen in on one group of women who picked up an unconventional instrument for fun and ended up finding a community of supportive friends along the way.
When you're not listening to customers or the sounds of your morning brew, over here at the Coffee Cup Co., you can hear live music ringing in the air.
Like just practicing together, like as a whole group, we've only been doing for about 2 weeks. So it's been good though. We've been catching on quick.
These are Las Mujeres, a group of women who met when they picked up accordion lessons over at the Guadalupe Cultural Arts Center.
I didn't know it was going to be like playing it, but then after learning more about the instrument and seeing other people play other instruments, I'm like, oh, this is much different, because there's so many ways to do different chords or different notes.
Ever since then, they found time to squeeze in practice and pull off some good tunes, all while finding new friends in class and fighting some stereotypes that this is a man's instrument.
And so it was a really wide range, but there was also like a good amount of women there. And I also feel like we kind of all clicked together and we kind of stuck together. I mean, we love our male classmates too, but I feel like we've gotten like a special bond as being women playing this specific instrument.
So it's really fun to have this community of
of ladies playing.
Now they've been invited to perform at the Viva Mexico Women's Festival, an event meant to uplift artists and musicians while highlighting Mexican culture.
How you feeling ahead of the performance? Good?
Excited. Yeah, excited. It'll be good.
They hope this is the first of many gigs for the mujeres, because the only limit they can see is how far their instruments can stretch.
You know, for me, I'm a mom too, like Carson, and, you know, I'm proud to be able to show my daughter that, you know, you can do whatever you want, no matter how old you are.
It's really empowering.
Devin Karp, KSAT 12 News.
President Trump says some peace talks between Israel and Hamas have already begun. Coming up, find out what U.S. officials are saying about the progress in ending the war. Almost 2 years since the Hamas attack that started Israel's latest war in Gaza, there's a renewed hope that hostilities could come to an end and that dozens of Israeli hostages could soon come home. Israel and Hamas have both agreed to a peace proposal put forward by President Donald Trump, but the details are still being hashed out. ABC's Ian Pannell has the latest from Jerusalem.
As he left the White House this morning, President Trump saying indirect talks between Israel and Hamas to end the war have already begun.
They're in negotiation right now as we speak. They've started the negotiation. It'll last a couple of days. We'll see how it turns out, but I'm hearing it's going very well.
Negotiations between Israel and Hamas are set to take place Monday in Egypt. The White House says special diplomat Steve Witkoff and Trump's son-in-law Jared Kushner will be part of the U.S. team at those talks. Secretary of State Marco Rubio says this is the closest we've come to getting the hostages released, but acknowledged this is not yet a done deal.
There's a lot of pitfalls along the way. There's some work to be done here. And our hope is that by the time our team gets to Cairo, 90% of this has been worked out and we're just sort of finalizing the logistical piece.
Hamas has agreed in principle to release all the remaining hostages alive or dead, though adding it would only free them if there are proper field conditions, saying they're ready to negotiate the details. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says he hopes to announce the release of all remaining hostages from the Gaza Strip in the coming days. Thousands of demonstrators gathered in Tel Aviv with one message: it's now or never.
We cannot let another deal collapse.
Former hostage Keith Siegel has been advocating for the remaining hostages since his release 8 months ago. He described his 484 days of captivity.
I spent time in tunnels, suffocating 130 feet underground, gasping for our breath, left alone there with very, very little food. I witnessed violence and cruelty.
But while Hamas has agreed to some of Trump's 20-point proposal, there has been no mention of the group disarming, as the president demanded, and there are questions about just how that would happen and who would oversee it. Chuck Severson, ABC News.
And taking a look at live cam, it is about 88 degrees, a beautiful sunny day this Sunday. The dog days of summer is a common phrase. Here in South Texas, that carries over into October.
Oh, definitely. I mean, yes, we still have the fall-like temperatures, and we are sitting at exactly our average temperature, but it's still going to be feeling a little more like those fall and those summer conditions. 88 degrees currently in San Antonio with that humidity at 36%. And even tomorrow and throughout the next few hours, we're expecting our temperatures to stay in the 80s, decreasing that humidity and even decreasing those temperatures. But tomorrow we're going to rise back up to the 90s, but there's also a weak rain chance tomorrow, and later on in the week I'll break that up about what you need to know coming up after the break.
It has been a sunny and dry weekend. We do have a chance to change that towards the end of this upcoming week.
I know a lot of people want to continue to see that low humidity that we've been feeling over the last week, but we're still in that drought, JP, and even then we need any sort of rain we can get. So we do have some rain chances, but that's exactly it. A 10% chance of rain on Monday and Wednesday. Now, Tuesday does look to be the best chance of rain, and that's a 20% chance, but even then, that is going to be because of the coastal plains mostly getting the showers, as these are all the sea breeze showers and storms that we normally get this time of year. But here's a look at that futurecast of the upper level moisture that's also going to contribute to all of this. So we're seeing that big blue H in areas of South Texas, and that's going to be the weather maker at least for today and tomorrow. But as that high pressure system tries to stick around, we get this area of low pressure that is going to make its way to San Antonio. And as it does, it's going to bring some of that Gulf moisture into areas of South Texas. That's why when we have that chance for those sea breeze showers, normally those are just your normal showers and storms near the coastal plains. But there's also a little bit of upper level support with that weak low pressure system that is going to try to make its way. But really that high pressure system is really going to strengthen. So as we go into Thursday, we start to see those rain chances decrease and that chance of that high pressure and that quieter weather to really stick around as it pushes all the moisture trying to make its way to Brownsville and areas near Laredo, staying well to the south as most of us in Texas are going to be a little more dry. But like I mentioned, there is still that chance for some rainfall accumulation with all these showers. Now, how much? Well, as you go near the coast, near Corpus Christi and even towards Victoria, maybe an inch is possible, even a quarter of an inch. But as we get closer to San Antonio, we're not really expecting a big washout. Portions of south central Texas have the chance to see some rain chances, but it's really going to be a toss-up. And even then, not everyone's going to see that much, maybe a quarter of an inch of widespread rain, maybe even a tenth of an inch. But we'll keep you posted as we get closer to. But even though not everyone is going to see the chance of rain, everyone is going to be feeling that humidity. It's going to be muggy as we get into Wednesday and Thursday. And then that high pressure really starts to take over. We start to see that humidity decrease. The temperature is still going to be normal to what we've been seeing. And even starting out tomorrow morning, we're waking up in those 60s. Our afternoon temperatures already in the 80s and 90s after lunchtime. 92 degrees is our peak temperature tomorrow. And because we are starting to see that little bit of some excess moisture in south central Texas, we do have a 10% chance of rain for San Antonio tomorrow if we see anything. But that's why you want to keep the KSAT Weather Authority app handy, as we'll continue to keep you posted on the rain chances. Cloud coverage continues to stick around as we get to Wednesday and Thursday, but as that high pressure starts to take over, as we go into Friday and Saturday, some quieter weather with the cloud coverage. We start to see some sunnier skies. Temperatures dip back into those 60s just a little bit, a little more seasonable. But JP, the temperatures we're seeing outside right now is going to be great to go outside and enjoy an evening patio dinner.
Those highs, though, we won't focus on the highs.
No.
Also, I thought the rain chances were at the end of the week. That's why we need you here, Shelby, to correct me. The beginning of the week. Keep that in mind.
The beginning of the week.
Beginning of the week. Thanks for that. Are Texas NFL teams good again? Because noon football had us, at least me, surprised about what was happening.
Yeah, some big things happening out east for both the Cowboys and the Texans. And yeah, nice bounce back games for both teams. Cowboys at the Jets, Texans at the Ravens. We'll show you the highlights coming up, and also highlights from Game 2 of the WNBA Finals. We have that and more after the break.
Fake it, throw it, it's caught for the touchdown. That was easy.
The Texans making it look easy in Baltimore today. We're talking NFL Sunday in big board sports. But first, starting with the Cowboys, who are without 4 offensive linemen as they visit the winless New York Jets for Week 5. Brian Schottenheimer entering the week with the #1 total offense in the NFL. Impressive stuff for a first-year head coach. Now, second quarter, Cowboys tight end Jake Ferguson ending his 21-game touchdown drought with a career-long 26-yard TD catch. How about that? Dallas up 10-3. Now, the Cowboys defense has struggled mightily, especially without Micah Parsons, but not today. Dallas sacked Justin Fields 5 times, including that sack for a loss of 14 by Osa Odigizua to force the Jets to punt. Then the next Jets drive, Maris Leafau forces the fumble recovered by Dallas, and Javonte Williams with a nice run to the outside to turn the turnover into 6 points. Now Ferguson would find the end zone again before halftime as the Cowboys led 23-3.
Prescott loads up. Pickens hand fighting into the end zone. Touchdown! Breathtaking 43-yard strike.
Late in the third quarter, Dak Prescott to Pickens gave Dallas the 30-3 advantage. And in the closing minutes of the final frame, Prescott links up with Williams for the 4-yard TD toss. Double thumbs up from Dak after that one as the Cowboys finish back-to-back weeks unbeaten, defeating the Jets 37-22. Now tonight on the Night Beat, join us as we'll hear post-game reaction from this one. Now, entering the 2025 season, Week 5 at the Ravens looked like one of the Texans' toughest matchups, but instead both teams were 1-3 coming in, and Cooper Rush is starting at QB for an injured Lamar Jackson. First quarter, Houston scores right away. C.J. Stroud throws a dime to Xavier Hutchinson. Hutchinson, one of 3 Iowa State receivers on the Texans roster, gets his first career TD. A couple field goals later, second quarter, Texans continue a perfect day in goal-to-go efficiency as Stroud hits Nico Collins for the 10-yard score. Then before intermission, how about another for Hutchinson? Gets his second career NFL touchdown to put Houston up big 24-3 at halftime.
Play action, rush, safety valve is Henry, and it's intercepted. The anticipation of Petrie.
Jalen Petrie, the Baylor alum, gets his 3rd interception of the season on the first drive of the second half, and the Texans capitalize. Nick Chubb takes the handoff. 29-year-old Chubb goes the distance, scoring a 27-yard touchdown in Houston, running up the score on the Ravens. Start of the 4th frame inside the 5. Stroud feeds another former Iowa State receiver, this time rookie Jalen Noel, who makes the catch for his first NFL TD. Lots of first touchdowns today. I love it. The Texans finish on top 44-10, led by Stroud's 4 touchdown passes, while helping Houston rack up a total of 417 total yards to more than double the Ravens, who turned the ball over 3 times. Now let's turn our attention over to the WNBA Finals. Game 2 of the best-of-7 series between the Aces and Mercury going down in Las Vegas today. Now Phoenix trying to avoid going down 2-0 and continue their Cinderella story after taking down 1-seed Minnesota last round. A hot start by the Mercury as Alyssa Thomas sinks the turnaround jumper to double the Aces score. But Las Vegas responds with a 10-0 run anchored by Asia Wilson, who became the WNBA's first 4-time MVP this season. Now there's Chelsea Gray with a touchdown pass to Wilson. Now first frame coming to a close when Akoa Makani gets the steal, and DeWanda Bonner drives in for the up and under layup as Phoenix has the lead. Now second quarter, Wilson works her way into the post and knocks down the short J plus the foul. Aces led by 9 at the half. Third quarter now, Jackie Young with the hoop and harm. Young had a finals record 21 points in the third quarter, and this was a completely different ball game in the second half as the Aces win 91-78 to take a commanding 2-0 series lead. Young and Wilson combined for 60 points in this one. Game 3 is Wednesday at 7 o'clock. Okay, college football now. This weekend of college football was telling for the world and the AP Top 25 voters. The Texas Longhorns are out of the Top 25 for the first time since 2022 after their most recent loss to unranked Florida at the Swamp. Meanwhile, Texas A&M, JP, they are up to number 5 in the country. It's been some time since the Aggies have been ranked this high. If I'm not mistaken, 4 years, so things are going great for the Aggies, still undefeated at 5-0.
And besides the beginning of the season, where they had a slight scare against UTSA because it started out a little slow, A&M has handled business. They're not just winning games; they are winning dominantly,
as well as learning how to win while making a lot of mistakes. Up until yesterday, it was surprising that they were undefeated, but now they've really figured it out. Yeah,
handling SEC play as well.
Yeah.
Thanks for that, Mary. We'll be right back.
Temperatures this week are still going to be in the 90s, but 88 degrees is our average temperature. So looking ahead into this week and even next week, we are sitting above average for San Antonio, for most of the Panhandle, Oklahoma, all the way up to the UP of Michigan, while there's a low pressure system arriving from the West Coast, bringing some cooler temperatures that could make its way to San Antonio, but otherwise staying in the 70s, 60s, and even in the 90s in the afternoon.
We'll focus on the 70s and 60s. Thanks for that, Shelby. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you tonight on the Night Beat.